For this year's 4-character idiom, I chose the phrase gyonrisai. Another one I selected is 자장격지. gyonrisai means that whenever you see a benefit, you must always consider whether it is truly righteous and just. So I firmly believe that in the atomy business, honesty and kindness are, without a doubt, our true competitive edge. Qualities that truly set us apart from others. These values are truly absolutely essential for long-term success and building trust, and which is so important. Today, the principal of Dua Nature High School also stopped by here for a brief moment. So we took the opportunity to sit down and discuss together about the process of establishing the new school. And the main topic of our conversation was what kind of students we want to nurture and help grow in the future. In other words, what kind of students will they have become by the time they graduate? So at the very least, the graduates should be people you can trust. If someone is a graduate of our school, I can trust them unconditionally. If a graduate from our school is running a restaurant, I think if I go to that restaurant, the food will definitely be delicious and they won't have used any bad ingredients. Also, if, for example, a graduate from our school is running a car repair shop, I'd think if I leave my car there, they'll definitely fix it properly. If we educate our students to be the kind of people who inspire that kind of trust, that wherever you go, you can be sure they'll do a proper job, wouldn't that be a successful education? That's the kind of conversation we briefly exchange among various other discussions. Now, if you look at South Korea, it has become one of the top 10 economic powers in the world. Just living at this level alone, if you look at the economic indicators of the country, we've already become a successful economic powerhouse. But where does the problem lie? It's with each individual, the individuals, right? So let's not blame the country too much. Out of over 200 countries, if we've managed to bring our nation up to the top 10, hasn't the country done its part? And right now, there's no real obstacle to getting an education up to high school, is there? Isn't Korea now the country where the most people go to university in the world? If we've come this far, that's enough. If you've graduated from university, you need to take care of your own life. What more are you asking for? That's what I'm saying. What else do you expect to be done? And when you're doing the atomy business, don't complain or grumble. If you ended up with the wrong sponsor, just say, all right, I'll take care of it myself. Yes, all right, you work hard on that line over there. I'll take good responsibility for this side. If you just do it like this and take care of things yourself, it'll work out, right? I mean, why can't you do it? The company has a system, so we hold the Success Academy every month. Every week, every Thursday, there's a seminar at the Sejong City factory. And on Tuesdays, we rotate around different regions and hold seminars. If you just bring people and have them sit in that kind of system, even if you don't know how to speak, anyone can succeed. But with all these systems already in place, what is there to complain about? That's why I use the phrase, be your own commander and advance. It means you should become a leader yourself and move forward. If you look at everyone, there are a lot of people with a private's mentality. But even though I started out as a private too, privates don't really think about anything. But commanders, officers are different. They have to think about what they're going to do, then make a plan, and if there's a problem, they have to solve it. Is there anything in this world that doesn't have difficulties? Everyone faces challenges on the road to success. No matter what you do, there will always be difficulties. And please, stop saying that things are hard. Is there anyone who doesn't have a hard time? Even when you go on a trip, isn't it tiring? After you come back from a trip, after having fun and coming home, you always say, home is the most comfortable place. Even traveling is exhausting. Even if you just lie around and sleep all day, it's still tiring. Your back just feels like it's breaking. So, as long as you're alive, it's always going to be hard. Life itself is difficult, as long as you're alive. So you have to accept that hardship is normal. Oh, it's so hard. Oh, it's so hard. Let's try to get rid of this hardship. Let's see if we can somehow make it go away. It will never go away, everyone. Do you think it won't be hard if you become a royal master? No. Even now I have to go to the US and travel all over the place, and there are so many partners, right? Even as a royal master, it's still hard, everyone. It's hard for everyone. So don't try to avoid hardship. If you try to avoid hardship, maybe the only time you'll be comfortable is when you're lying in your coffin. Until then, it's always going to be hard. So if you're going to go through hardship anyway, do something that brings results, something you can feel proud of. Even having fun is hard. So if you're going to have a hard time anyway, do it while working and helping others. Let's struggle while helping others. That's the mindset you should have. That's the first step to becoming a leader. The very first step. Becoming a leader doesn't mean things get easier. In fact, it's even harder than being a regular soldier. But still, it's better to become a leader than to remain a regular soldier. So please, stop making excuses about your circumstances. What doesn't work, so I can't do it. If you're going to think that way, I wouldn't have even been able to start this company. I wouldn't have been able to get this company off the ground. Because when I started this company, I was completely broke, really a beggar. Because of that, the only people who came were also broke, just beggars. Most of the people in the Royal Club were all beggars, really. Honestly, I was the king of the beggars. But even then, my title was chairman. Yes, chairman. There were only 2 employees. My own younger brother was the vice president. Yes. So I thought since I'd end up as chairman anyway, why not just call myself chairman from the start? That's why with just 2 employees, I went ahead and called myself chairman. I basically made myself the leader. And honestly, I feel really sorry because I couldn't provide proper conditions for the people who came to work with us. Even now, my heart aches when I think about that. Those who came to work back then. If you have a lot of people like this, everyone ends up serving as part of the interior decor. When there are a lot of people, anyone who comes in goes, wow, this company must be doing pretty well. You can feel it right away. Back then, our first seminar was held with just 17 people gathered together. Even after several months, it took months just to get past 20-something, 30, and then 40 people. So, with those 40 people, in order to create an atmosphere where it felt like the company was really taking off, and to build excitement, I had to lecture like crazy. Everyone, this can work. It will happen. We are going global, and we're going to completely take over the world market. Everyone. All of you will become successful. Go. I shouted it like a madman. Anyone who was in their right mind left after hearing that. Only the ones who were out of their minds just blindly followed along. So, each and every one of you, without exception, must become a leader yourselves. A leader. A mere follower, no matter the circumstances, can never become successful. You have to become a leader yourselves. You need to become a leader, a general. Of course, to become a general in the Korean military, you'd have to graduate from a military academy and all that, right? But at academy, even if you only graduated from elementary school, you can still reach the Royal Club, which is like the general level. Then there are people who say this. I didn't even finish elementary school. There's always someone like that. Whether you finished elementary school or not, it's all the same. Why make a big deal out of that? So what if you didn't finish? I'm sure there are people here who didn't even go to elementary school, but they just don't talk about it. In our Royal Club, there are actually quite a few people who started out with just the basics. There was even someone recently announced by the company. So even those who only finished elementary school can succeed. But that success is not just some easy minor success. I'm not talking about making 2 or 3 million won. I'm talking about earning 2,000, 3,000, even 5,000 won. That's what people are doing right now. That's why when you take on this work, you really have to be prepared to give it your all. You have to approach this with the mindset, even if it kills me, I can do it. Even if I die doing this, I'm still okay with that. Why? It would be a shame if I died trying to succeed alone for the sake of my family, whom I truly love. But because I'm doing this with the conviction that I must succeed for the family I truly love, I have the determination that even if I die doing this, I won't have any regrets. So why wouldn't you be able to make it? Do you think I was born with a silver spoon in my mouth? I had nothing. You can do it even if you have absolutely nothing. And what good would it do to blame others at that time? At that time, you couldn't blame anyone. And even if in that very moment your heart was truly, deeply and painfully aching, even then, you couldn't even show a hint of weakness. I'm having a hard time too. It really was difficult, honestly. But if I showed how much I was struggling, everyone would have collapsed. So I had to swallow my pain alone. It was truly a path where I had to swallow all the hardship alone. That's the path of atomy. The harder it got, the more I had to shout that I could do it. And the moment I even mentioned that it was tough, everyone would have collapsed. When you're working, everyone Don't say that it's hard. If you hear yourself say that it's hard, you'll lose your own strength. So don't let yourself hear words like, it's hard either. Even if you're alone in your room, you should say, I can do it. This work is easy. I can do it even by myself. I can make it. You have to say these things to yourself. That's why you really have to become your own commander and go out there. But here's the thing. What should you use as your competitive edge? Your strategy, your competitive edge should be honesty and goodness. You have to be honest. Never deceive yourself. You must not deceive yourself. And you shouldn't deceive those around you either. You have to speak honestly and you have to be kind. Being kind means this. It means helping others. Giving what you have to others is being kind. That's what it means to be good. So your partner should succeed before you do. Let's help our partners. You have to give and share generously. That is the best strategy. Honesty and goodness, because society isn't honest right now. That's why there are so many regulations. The reason regulations are created is this. They're made because of people who do strange or bad things. If everyone were honest, we could get rid of all the regulations. But the problem that can't be solved is exactly that kind of problem. Even now, with all these restrictions, there are still people who find ways to cheat the system. So if we remove all the regulations, who knows what might happen? That's why, even on a societal level, we really need to be honest and willing to take losses. When it comes to your children, instead of just focusing on subjects like Korean, English, or math from their textbooks, we need to properly teach them about living upright lives. Personally, I wish that about 50% of the curriculum in Korean elementary to high school textbooks was dedicated to the subject of upright living. If we only made students study the other half and truly provided honest and virtuous education, I believe Korea would thrive. Of course. We would still need to separately consider how effective that education would actually be. But when you work, truly act with honesty and goodness. Honesty and goodness are your competitive edge. The reason people around you don't really listen to you when you speak is because you haven't been honest in the past. You weren't good in the past either. You didn't really give them anything or help them before, so now when you come and ask for something, they think you're not doing it for them, but for yourself. That's why they have to weigh things carefully, whether they'll lose out or not, and that's why they don't listen to you. So from now on, you need to act honestly and with goodness. To be good is to give. To give. But some people say this, no, what are you giving me? I don't have anything myself. But actually, you have a lot to give. First, you can show a little bit of genuine interest in the other person. For example, just simply calling them, maybe even just to ask how they're doing. And it's exactly the same with your parents as well. You can do the same thing for them. Asking your parents if they've eaten, if they slept well last night, if they had any discomfort, or if they're feeling unwell, just giving them a call like that is already giving them so much. It's the same with friends. Just checking in, asking how they're doing, if everything's okay, or how their kids are growing up. Showing interest, pouring out this kind of love, these things are incredibly important. For some people, even just smiling at them, do that well at least. As for me, when I was in a situation where I almost died from cirrhosis of the liver, my business had failed and I was in debt. In a situation where there was nothing left at home, I had no idea how many months I had left. So at that time I thought, if I have anything left, I'd like to give it away before I go. But do I have anything at all? And after thinking it over, of course, I realized I had no assets whatsoever. But among the things I did have, there were some things I hadn't given away yet. So, during the time I had left, however many months that might be, I decided I should give as much of this as I could. And what was that? Smiling. I could have smiled at my wife, but I realized I hadn't smiled at her very much. So I just kept smiling at her. Continue. When I woke up in the morning, I'd say, "Did you sleep well?" "Oh, good morning." "Wow, what a nice morning." When I started doing this, at first she was like, "What's going on? Is something wrong? Did something happen? Did you go somewhere or something?" But after a while, it just naturally became our way of greeting each other. And honestly, I could have told her, "I love you" as much as I wanted, but I realized I hadn't said it enough. So I thought, I had so much to give, and these were things I received from God, but I was too stingy in giving them away. So I decided that from now on, I should give whatever I have. After that, I started to really smile, say, I love you, and tell her, you worked hard. And since I still have some strength left, I'd say, come here, I'll massage your legs, I'll massage your feet, as I kept doing things like this. Our relationship as a married couple really improved. So we really do have things of our own. Give what you have to the people around you. Share it with your partner. Would it help if I went with you? Even if it's hard, go together sometimes. Why? Even if it's just a night walk, it feels so reassuring when you go together. Is it so? Don't you think so? Even if it's just a night walk, going alone to meet someone can make your heart race. But if you have someone, anyone, by your side, even if they're not doing much, you become a lot braver. So even if it's just a night walk, I can't do anything. Still, just try. Should I go with you when you go with your partner? But if you say you're going to explain something as a sponsor or something like that, they get anxious. So instead you can say, should I carry your bag for you? Should I go with you? Even just helping out in this way is supporting them. Your partners, even if you can't explain anything, just being there by their side helps. And when you get rejected, you can say, oh, getting rejected a lot is actually the way to succeed. Then if you keep talking about it, you'll be fine. And if you keep talking and talking, things will work out. When the two of you have conversations like this, even if you feel completely drained after being rejected, you end up feeling pretty resilient again. So even someone who feels like a complete fool, unable to do anything, it can give tremendous power to partners. If you just have genuine interest and truly wish for your partner's success, you can do this. That's why it's important for us to give everything we have without holding back. Even as you're running your business now, what most of you are doing is only paying attention to one thing, your own success. Your own success. How can I succeed? That's the only thing you care about. But you need to forget about yourself. Who should you take care of first? Your partner? Your partner. I hope that person succeeds. It's okay if I do it later. It's okay if I take it slow. It seems like that person is in more of a hurry. Oh, I should help that person first. If you help others with that kind of mindset, the computer will end up taking care of your bank account for you. That's what the Atomy Compensation Program is all about. The computer is taking care of your bank account, you know. So if you really try to share and help others like that, you'll think, I should help everyone who's connected to me. That's the mindset of a leader. I need to bring along all the people around me who are struggling. If you genuinely and sincerely assist and support others with that kind of positive, thoughtful mindset, then you can truly become a real leader among those around you in your daily life. But everyone is only focused on how they themselves can succeed. There are people who, just to achieve their own success, even go so far as to use those next to them and make things difficult for them. Business will never go well that way. It's tough when I see people like that. That's why being truly honest and genuinely good is always the very best strategy in life. Whenever you see an opportunity for profit or gain, you must always carefully consider whether it is truly righteous and just. And then, as a responsible leader, you should strive to make everyone around you as successful as possible. With Atomy, I made the important decision for myself that I should become a leader, so I put on the chairman's badge and said, follow me. That's what I did. And as a result, those who followed me became successful. Now the baby boomer generation is starting to retire. They're all healthy. There are no particular problems. But now people aged 58, 56, 60, they're all starting to pour out into retirement. A huge number of them are retiring, but most of their pensions are only between 200 and 350. Of course, you can get by. You can live on it, but the range of activities you used to enjoy in the past shrinks dramatically. As a result, people end up living in a very withdrawn way. Even meeting up with a friend, you have to think carefully about who it will be. It's become a situation where you have to calculate everything before meeting someone. But for those people, just imagine what a great opportunity it would be if they were given enough money to take care of the people around them. And now this year, we are expanding into about 5 countries. Soon, we'll be entering India, and we're also expanding into Mexico. If you look at the people here, you might think, well, I don't speak Spanish or any Indian languages, so what does expanding there have to do with me? People who think like that aren't very smart. Those kinds of people, no matter what else they try, there's no real solution. They have no choice but to do the Atomy business with that kind of thinking. But if you're sharp enough to realize, if I work hard here in Korea, my business could expand over there too, then you're clever. And you should also be doing the Atomy business. Even if you just work hard to share this with the people around you, like the laundromat lady in Daejeon who worked hard to spread the word. She didn't go to Japan and speak Japanese to share it, nor did she share it directly overseas. But centers and lines started popping up abroad. Why did that happen? Because as it spread from one person to another, there were people along the way who were good at foreign languages. That's how the organization expands all over the world. So in those countries, you never know which of your neighbors might get connected. And if you go just 6 degrees out, your neighbor's neighbor's neighbor, and so on, the organization spreads so widely that you could be connected to anyone in the world. So the fact that we are expanding all over the world and doing so through a direct hotline is an incredible vision. And in our company, people who join now are treated exactly the same as Japanese business partners. Even those who join 5 years from now will be treated the same as Japanese business partners. The reason for this is we have set an upper limit on commissions like this. Once you reach 50 million won, it doesn't go any higher. There's a cap. So whether someone reached 50 million won 5 years ago, or I start now and reach 50 million won in 5 years, it's the same, right? Isn't that so? If someone joins 5 years from now, can they also reach 50 million won at that time? Eventually, everyone meets at the top. Among network marketing companies, only Atomy is set up this way. Whether someone joined 5 or 6 years ago or just joined now, it's all the same. Do you think it was easier for those who joined 5 or 6 years ago and worked hard, or will it be easier for you if you start working hard now? In fact, it's actually easier for those who are joining now. Back then, it was really tough because only a few people would gather. Now, we have to become leaders ourselves and go out there. At the same time, we must work with integrity. If you want to work with integrity, you have to be willing to take a loss. You know those people who say they'll never take a loss, no matter what? They're actually very malicious people. They're not smart people. They're malicious people. If you look at it, I will never lose. Being around people like that is really exhausting, right? You have to live your life willing to take a loss. You have to be generous. You need to be generous even about mistakes. And you should be generous when others make mistakes too. I brought you all here as partners. They might end up going somewhere else. They might move to another company. You need to factor that in. Oh well, even if about 1/3 of the people I bring in end up leaving, I'll just accept it and focus on bringing in more. That's the mindset you should have. But some people, just lose it if even one person leaves. The problem isn't that one person left, it's that you lose your composure, and that's why you can't keep going. There are a lot of people in the world who aren't upright. What we're doing here is the right thing, but sometimes because someone isn't upright, they leave because they're not a good person. But what's really unfortunate is that the saddest thing is when people can't stand to see that and end up stumbling themselves. There are definitely people like that in the world. There are bad people out there. But I really hope that you, the good people, won't fall because of those bad people. Even though there are people like that, I truly hope that you, the good people, will succeed. That's why in Atomy there isn't a single underling. You understand, right? Yes, everyone becomes a leader. And everyone becomes a royal master. From now on, you need to become a royal master. You have to live with the mindset of a royal master. Starting now. When the company first started, even when we didn't have an office and the only staff member was a younger colleague, I still spoke and acted like a chairman. Back then, I spoke even more boldly. Now, Atomy is going global. We are heading toward the global market. Right now, Atomy has just begun its journey. And in a way, it's been set up perfectly for you to start your business. So for those of you who are here for the first time today, now it's your turn to become a leader and provide for everyone around you. Not just my children, but even my brothers and sisters. If they're in trouble, I'll take care of them all. If any of my friends are struggling, I'll look after them too. If any of my friends are sick, I'll cover all their medical expenses. These days, with good health insurance, even if you get cancer, well, you can get everything taken care of for about 30 million won. Right? I even tell my husband, honey, you've worked so hard all your life to provide for our family. But from now on, I'll free you from worrying about our household finances. From now on, I'll take full responsibility for our family's finances. And you can do whatever you want. If you want to go fishing, go fishing. If you want to travel abroad, go travel abroad. And as for cars, if there's a car you want to drive, just tell me. What should I buy for you? Should I get you an Equus? Should I get you a Benz? But in return, just wait for 3 years. Okay? That's how you should become a leader, a real leader. Yes, around here. You have to speak up boldly without holding back. You have to speak up boldly and confidently so that the people around you think, wow, it looks like he's really going to make it. When they see you talking so big, they'll figure you must have something going on, and they'll get intimidated and come on board. You get it? So don't go around begging or anything like that. Even when you call your friends, say, I was debating whether to tell Young Soon first or you, but I figured you're a bit closer to me, so I'm telling you. Hurry up and come over. Where is it? Don't ask, that's the point. Let's meet at Songnisan. Got it? And you have to say it with a bit of confidence like this. But if you just get intimidated and go there saying, it's not me doing it, someone else told me to do it, and mumble like that, then even things that could work out won't work out. How can you treat an atomy business where people make 30 or 50 million won like it's just some corner store? There are going to be an incredible number of new products coming in from now on, right? And now, in every country we expand into, there will be a purchasing department. A purchasing department. Even in Cambodia, the Cambodia branch will have a person in charge of purchasing Cambodian products. So among the products coming out of Cambodia, like pepper and various other things, we'll bring them to Korea, send them to the US, to Japan, and to China. One of our company's goals is to become a distribution hub. We want everything to, we want everything to flow through us. We're going to handle everything ourselves from now on. So everyone, we will make sure that the money coming into our system never leaks out. And after all, we are ordinary people, right? We're going to create a system where money circulates among us, the common people. So those who don't join us won't be able to survive. Now, this is the beginning of that endeavor. Now, at last, we're truly moving forward, like a general who takes charge and leads the advance himself. Everyone, let's march forward toward the whole world. Yes.